Bills seen as targeting members of the LGBTQ community are moving through legislatures all across the country.
The ACLU counted more than 370 pieces of legislation that are active this year so far. And the state that has the most proposed laws is Oklahoma. I want to bring in Devraat Awasthi. Now he's a legal fellow with the ACLU of Oklahoma. Devraat, talk to us about or walk us through some of these proposed bills. What are the lawmakers who are trying to pass them? What do you see as the goal of these, and who would be most affected?
Yeah, so we're tracking anywhere from 49 to 54 pieces of legislation here in Oklahoma that target the 2S LGBTQ plus community with almost surgical precision and inflict harm on that community for the sole reason of their sexual orientation or gender identity. And the goal of these kinds of legislation is not only to inflict harm on the members of that community, but also to kind of reverse the social acceptance of gay people and trans people that we've seen in the last few decades. We're monitoring about three main buckets of legislation. The first impacts the health care that gay and trans people receive as members of the 2S LGBTQ plus community. So that includes legislation that bans gender-affirming care. That includes legislation that would include a right to discriminate for healthcare providers or healthcare insurance providers, including employers, and also legislation that would impact the way that kind of healthcare is funded. We're also monitoring legislation that impacts the freedom of expression rights of members of the 2S LGBTQ plus community. So that includes legislation that bans drag performances and also legislation that would restrict state funds from being used to celebrate Pride or put up Pride flags. And the third bucket of legislation includes the right of people who are gay or trans to personally identify as gay or trans in public. So that includes legislation that restricts their ability to change their personal identity documents.
So, Dev, it's important to note these are bills, they're not yet laws, right? So the things you're monitoring. Why do you think they have remained thus far in the bill stage as opposed to the past legislation stage?
So our session just started this year, so we are monitoring the legislation that has been filed at the beginning of this year's session. We anticipate some of these bills will make it through legislation. We're not very sure which ones, and so we're just remaining vigilant and watching the legislature very closely. And
Dev, the people who are proposing these bills, I'm sure, and I don't know exactly what their speeches were in introducing them, but they're not going to say it's opposed to the free speech rights of the LGBTQ community. They're not going to say that they're homophobic. They're not going to say that they're anti-trans. That's not how they would couch themselves. What they'll probably say, if it's like other states, is something along the lines of, we're trying to protect children. We don't want life-changing procedures that can't be undone to be done willy-nilly. And then they would also probably say, and this is based on what I've read in other states, that you've seen this huge increase in the number of kids under the age of 18, minors, identifying as trans, and they feel like the uptick is so big that there's something going on, there's some sort of a copycat effect. So what's your response to those? Those are the prime arguments that you see for why these bills should be introduced and debated. And I'm just curious, what's the answer to those? Because that's closely hues with what they would say the bills are doing. What's your response to that?
So I think my first response is that it kind of gives the game away. It's exactly what we talked about earlier, which is that they're identifying the social acceptance of people who are gay or people who are trans as a problem, when that isn't in fact a problem. That's a sign of progress in our society. And treating people differently because of their sexual orientation or because of their gender identity is unconstitutional if the state can't justify it under the requisite standard under the United States Constitution. And so none of those justifications are enough to satisfy the constitutional standard.
So talk to us a little bit about that, about what makes the bills unconstitutional. I think that would be what would make them fail, legally speaking. And of course, you work with the ACLU. So.
And have these been going through and surviving scrutiny from the courts in other states? What's their trajectory? I mean, just fill us up big picture. Are these bills because Oklahoma's not the only state, 370, as we said in the introduction. Are they making it through and becoming law, or are the courts knocking them down?
So we've seen a mixed results from federal courts across the country, but I think the view that these kinds of legislation are constitutional is mistaken, because when a piece of legislation discriminates on the basis of sex or sexual orientation or gender identity, it is subject to heightened scrutiny, which means that the courts have to take a very close look at whether the state has an exceedingly persuasive justification for making that kind of law. And this standard comes from the Equal Protection Clause of the United States Constitution, one of the most important provisions of our Constitution. And so courts take it really seriously when states make this kind of discrimination between people.
Devraat Awasthi, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.